here with a book review today, a very serious book review for The Graveyardshift by M.L. Rio. This is a short story that follows 5 academic adjacent night shift workers who are going to solve a mystery in one night. Now that's a very interesting premise, and I was very excited to see how this book would go. Like, I was so hyped up for this book. I was really looking forward to it. I bought it in October and I saved it for just the right moment, and I'm really sad to report that this was a really bad book. I gave it 1 star because there's a lot wrong with it, and I think the execution could have been way better. I also think it's a very big idea for not enough pages. Also, I'm really sorry if you hear some background noise. I have the air conditioner running. It's hot as hell, maybe hotter than hell right now in New York, so you're gonna get air conditioning. Sorry. But yeah, I'm gonna say the long and short of this is that this book was a whole lot of nothing. Nothing happens, and I mean that pretty literally. There's 108 pages and nothing happens throughout this book. It is just a lot of pointless chapters. One of the reviews on the back describes the book as being filled with ennui. I feel like that would be a great title change for this book, because that's all I felt. I felt a great sense of ennui, of boredom, because this book had nothing to offer. It lacked a lot of substance. I think it was a really big undertaking that was poorly executed. That's the rest of my diary, but I've got some notes here about the book because I really do have some kind of heated opinions, especially since I've seen so many people really enjoyed this book, and I feel like I'm kind of the odd one out. I want to say first things first is that this felt more like an outline for a story than an actual story itself. Like I said, it's lacking in a lot of places. The pacing is incredibly off. It felt more like the author had an idea, had maybe started writing it, and was then approached for the short story and kind of spit this out in response to that. It just does not read very well whatsoever. And then on top of that, the author decides to do 5 separate points of view. You are bouncing through 5 POVs in this book. I think the 5 POVs is actually one of the worst decisions the author made. Had the author maybe stuck to one main character, I think the story would have been a lot stronger and easy to follow along with. But since we're bouncing through 5 characters who are pretty two-dimensional at that, it's really difficult to know who's talking, and you kind of just don't care about these people enough. On top of that, I thought the characters were really bad. Like I said, I think they're two-dimensional, but I also think they're just incredibly boring and very loser-ish. I don't mean that to be mean. I just feel like they're not fleshed out enough for you to care, and so they come off as very mediocre. The fact that I don't think it was well executed, and it was kind of a waste of paper and my time. Then on top of mediocre characters and bad pacing and a flat storyline, the author uses the rest of the space and their energy to give you a cocktail menu and a playlist and further reading and the characters' TBRs, which is incredibly ridiculous. When I barely know these characters, I could care less about them, and you're taking precious time away from your book. Then the last 20 or so pages are just an insert for If We Were Liars, the author's most popular work. So I kind of don't see the point in this unless it was kind of some bid to stay relevant or get more readers for We Were Liars. I don't usually see authors add their previous works in the back of a book. I do see snippets for future books in the back of books, but never a 7-year-old very popular work. So that was a little weird. Yeah. Overall, I think this was a really lackluster execution of what could have been a really good idea. This was just incredibly disappointing, and it's hurt even more by the fact that this author is supposed to be really amazing, and so many people had so much good to say about it. And I think in the end it just fell really flat for me, so I don't think I can recommend this book because there's not even anything to like. There's nothing that happens here. This is not gripping or anything like that. This is just really boring and lackluster, which I've probably said a million times in this video, but I really want to hammer down because there's only 108 pages and literally nothing happens. You're just wasting your time and following around the most mediocre band of characters you've ever met in your life. So yeah, that's the book review. I'm so sorry I don't have better news for my first book review back in like 2 years. So yeah, that was Graveyardshift by M.L. Rio. and unfortunately she was gonna put me in the grave.